If you want to go viral on TikTok, it's very, very possible to go viral on TikTok because of the way the algorithm works. But you just have to make sure that you're going viral with the right people. And again, that links back to making sure you find your audience. If you go viral to the wrong people, then it's great, it's gone viral, but it's not going to have the impact that you want it to have. So you need to make sure that you are targeting your audience, you're staying true to your niche, you're being consistent with the content that you're producing. And it's, again, going back to the examples I was talking about before. Adobe, for example, all of their content on TikTok is based around design tips and walkthroughs, how they created something fun, and they show you the process of that. So it's fun to watch their videos because it's fun to see how they created these amazing images. It's very high quality production values, but it still has that UGC feel because it's filmed in someone's studio or whatever, or their living room.
Everyone who is in the audience, I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday, wherever you are. It's almost the evening. We are in Sofia. Let me introduce myself for the audience. Hey everyone, I'm Terry, Chief Marketing Officer here at Hop Online, and the main person who does these lives. Today I am joined by Guy, who is a Senior Client Success Manager here at Hop Online. Guy, I'll give you the floor in a second to introduce yourself. But first, I wanted to share what we're going to talk about today. Namely, we're going to talk about TikTok and how SaaS companies can use it to beat the competition. Full disclosure, I'm no expert on TikTok. I don't use it. I don't know much about it. But you do, Guy. So I wanted to have you on the call here to chat about it. I have a bunch of questions, and I kid you not, I've prepared a list with things I want to ask you today and get your brains on. But first, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Guy. I've been creating content on TikTok for over 9 months now. I've been able to get engagement rates of between 8 and 12%, which is pretty good for the platform. So I think you're doing something right, which is very good. As Terry said, I've been a senior CSM at Hop Online for just over a year and a half as well. So really enjoying my time here and happy to talk about TikTok anytime, anywhere. With my channel, I focus mainly on emerging tech trends. AI, for example, is a top one at the moment, as well as smart home technology. I'm very passionate about smart home technology. It's something I'm very enthusiastic about. So I like to talk about it, show all the cool things you can do and how to get started and all this sort of fun stuff. You can follow me on TikTok at The Smart Home Guy. A little plug for myself there. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been experimenting, trying new things, trying to build my style, hone my voice, and create some sort of following and audience. So it's been a really cool, exciting journey. Learned a lot. Happy to share those learnings with you today.
Awesome. That's exciting. Let's get started with the first question. And my first question is, can you share some examples of brands that are already using TikTok? And the reason why I'm asking you is because obviously we've worked with a lot of clients, and usually, especially the ones that are SaaS clients, either B2B or B2C, are usually reluctant. They're like, TikTok is for end users, not really for brands. So yeah, can we start from there? Can you give us some examples of brands that are already doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are a number of brands. Obviously, B2C, it's very obvious how you could use TikTok. A lot of fashion brands use TikTok to showcase their new ranges, the new seasons. But for B2B and for SaaS, it's a different use case. It's very interesting, actually, if you see what, for example, Monday.com, the project management software, we use ClickUp, which is a competitor, but Monday does some really good stuff on TikTok. Monday.com create videos that are based around tips and tricks for how to use their product. And they make fun videos based around their products and new releases and work-life balance and all this sort of thing. They feature their employees, and these employees take you through their products in one-to-one style videos. They're very engaging. They really humanize the brand, and they really kind of show you all the things that you can do with Monday.com, which immediately makes you think, that could be useful for my company. So it is something that I think is very engaging in that sense, a very good use of TikTok for a B2B SaaS company. They have some lots of trends and trending sounds and the kind of things that makes TikTok like a fun place to be, quite lighthearted. It's not serious. You see that also in Grammarly, the online tool that helps you improve your writing, amongst other things. They, again, make fun, relatable videos. They use trending sounds, they use trending dances and stuff, but it's all, again, based on the professional world. So they're very much in their niche, and they're very much doing the things that their audience would relate to. And I think that's the key, just really relating with your audience and kind of holding up a mirror to your audience so that they can kind of, when they come to your account or they see your videos, they kind of see a piece of themselves there, and it makes it an enjoyable place to be, because you always like to be in a group of people that are like-minded, right? So when you see that on TikTok and when you see brands doing that, it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
So if you have to like summarize it in, I don't know, 5 words or 5 bullet points, what
hmm
makes companies successful on TikTok?
Being relatable, being human, being fun and positive, and show the benefits of your product in a way that encompasses all of those above points.
Awesome. Thank you for the good summary. I'm more of an Instagram user, or I spend the majority of my time on LinkedIn if it's not obvious from my activity there. But what would you say makes TikTok different than Instagram? Obviously, now they're kind of stealing TikTok methodology with Instagram Reels.
hmm
So, do you see
hmm
any difference between the two of them? And when should companies consider one or the other, or should they be on both using the same type of content? Just in general, what's your take on this?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one because for me, Instagram, obviously I have Instagram as well, but I don't use it as much as TikTok now. And the reason is because with TikTok, there is more of an emphasis on user-generated content of being more real. With TikTok, you can be real on TikTok. You can really be yourself and talk passionately about the things. And the more enthusiastic and more knowledge and passion that you have about a subject, the easier it is to build a following and kind of get in touch with your audience, your community, like-minded people. And the way that the algorithm works with TikTok is it's content first. So when you go on TikTok, you're just shown random videos. And if you like that video, it will show you more videos like that. With Instagram, it's not like that. So you have to physically go out and search for people. You have to search for things that you're interested in. So it's very much user forward in that sense.
It's kind of funny that they named this part of Instagram Reels then.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I think a huge sign of how good TikTok is, I think, is the way that Google and Meta have basically copied their model and their technology and implemented it into their own technology. So, yeah, as you said, Instagram Reels from Meta, exactly like TikTok, and then YouTube Shorts from Google. Again, it's exactly like TikTok, but they don't have the cultural relevance that TikTok has. If you look at the way that TikTok just exploded, it's because it is something that is incredibly culturally relevant to people these days. And when it first exploded on the scene, everyone was kind of locked indoors, of course. So it kind of gave them an escape and it showed them the people that they were missing out on, so to speak. So one thing that I think differentiates TikTok from Instagram is, yeah, that realism. Instagram is a very much an aspirational place to go to. You want to see things that are like high quality, high sheen, high res. Whereas on TikTok, it's more real. So you appreciate and understand that people are just filming it on their phone. You can see their, maybe their bedroom in the background, or they're on the street talking. It's maybe a lot of background noise. It's not a problem on TikTok. That's kind of encouraged almost. But with Instagram, you kind of want to have that studio feel. You want to have that high res, good quality camera, really scripted, really nice editing, all this sort of thing. And it's the same with YouTube Shorts as well. You need to have that sheen and that professionalism about you. But it's not like that on TikTok. And I think the best brands, the best B2B and SaaS brands on TikTok are following those rules. Like I was saying before, Monday.com, Grammarly, Adobe, Shopify, they kind of all showcase these values that you see on TikTok of it's real, it's a connection one-on-one with someone. You're talking to them. It's not just some Hollywood production.
Yeah. So, given these differences, I guess, would you recommend companies, to have different types of content on both platforms, or can they use the same kind of content on both? Obviously, content production is a big expense for most
Yeah.
companies, and whenever a company is considering launching a new channel, that's usually one of the main gridlocks. Like, how can we invest in one more channel if we have to produce different type of content for it, etc.? So, what would you say
Yeah.
here?
Well, obviously creating content is a very time consuming thing and it has to be scripted and created very carefully. Even if it's on TikTok, you have to make sure that you have a script and just follow it. And especially if you're a brand, you want to make sure you tick all the boxes. But in terms of putting content from TikTok to Instagram and likewise, you can repurpose the content and kind of reshape it to fit each platform. That's totally fine. I think if you have something that is high sheen, then it works really well on Instagram and YouTube. If you can find a way to kind of take some of that sheen off, make it look a bit more approachable and put it on TikTok, it would work. We are seeing now on TikTok, there is more focus on storytelling and engaging content. So if your content is a good piece of storytelling, if your content is engaging, then it will work on TikTok, even if it is super high quality, high production value. It'll work because people want to stay involved in the story. They want to watch entertaining content. So if you have that in your Instagram video and you put it onto TikTok, it will work. And likewise, TikTok to Instagram. It's just a case of, if you want to cross-network, it's a case of adapting that content to that network. So it will work. You just need to make sure that it fits within the expectations of the viewer.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess one advantage of TikTok, and I think we've discussed that with a few clients, is that you can kind of test quick ideas on TikTok because it doesn't take that
Yes,
long
yeah,
to
yeah.
prepare the content. And then if something goes viral or people appreciate or whatever, you can then invest more in producing this polished look for Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to go viral on TikTok, it's very, very possible to go viral on TikTok because of the way the algorithm works. But you just have to make sure that you're going viral with the right people. And again, that links back to making sure you find your audience. If you go viral to the wrong people, then it's great, it's gone viral, but it's not going to have the impact that you want it to have. So you need to make sure that you are targeting your audience, you're staying true to your niche, you're being consistent with the content that you're producing. And it's, again, going back to the examples I was talking about before. Adobe, for example, all of their content on TikTok is based around design tips and walkthroughs, how they created something fun, and they show you the process of that. So it's fun to watch their videos because it's fun to see how they created these amazing images. It's very high quality, the production values, but it still has that UGC feel because it's filmed in someone's studio or whatever, or their living room.
Yeah,
And it
they
just
can then,
showcases.
and then they can take this, like the polished version of
Yeah,
the end result, and
exactly.
publish it on Instagram and say, okay, look, peek behind the scenes of how we actually produced it on TikTok, and then cross promote. Okay. I actually have another topic which you touched upon because you mentioned that even for TikTok, it takes some time to produce videos. And actually, one of my question was, if a company is considering launching TikTok, or they're already there but they want to, improve on whatever they're doing on TikTok, what should they keep in mind? Because I think, especially for the part about video production, there's like a common misconception that someone just grabs their phone and starts filming, and sometimes it happens, but I guess it's not always the case. So what should companies keep in mind when launching their channel, or just in general doing TikToks?
Make it clear that you are the official channel. So using your logo as the image, trying to show something in your username that makes you official, like Monday.com has the tick, I think. And then also make sure that your bio is linked to your niche. So it's just about focusing on your niche. SEO is a thing on TikTok that you also need to be aware of, making sure that what you put in your bio is relevant to your audience. So if they come to your account, they know what to expect. When it comes to making videos, yes, you can do it on your mobile phone, your iPhone or whatever. But again, try to script things out beforehand, try to plan it out, know what you want to create, and make sure that it's relevant to your audience and also tells a good story. So start with a good hook, get people interested past the first 3 seconds, then give them the meat that's on the hook. So what is the video about? What is the idea? And then rehook them to keep them engaged, and then give them some more meat. So kind of following that pattern throughout the video. Try to keep the videos short, although TikTok are experimenting with long form videos. Shorter videos tend to work better because the engagement rates are high, watch completion rates are high, and that's kind of what TikTok is really looking for. How long do people watch? That indicates to them that the video is good, so they'll push it out to more people. And you do that by creating engaging content, good storytelling content, content that your audience is interested in. Make sure that the people that are talking to the video, or the video itself, is well lit. And you don't need, again, a flashy sort of kit set up at home. I'm sat next to my window. This is perfect lighting. A clear background, and make sure that you're smiling, confident, happy, clear, having quick cuts so there's no ums and ahs. Make it punchy. These kind of things are all things that you can implement straight away really quickly to find good level of, just to create good content on TikTok straight away, just the basics. And then from that, you need to build on your style. So making sure you have a style that is very unique, that people will immediately recognize when they're scrolling through TikTok. When they see your video, they see your visual style or whatever style you choose, they'll know it's you. They'll keep watching because they like your videos. Also, your kind of like personality, your your style of presenting the content as well is also important. If you look at famous YouTubers like MrBeast and Casey Neistat, both have totally different styles, but both very successful. Obviously, MrBeast is sort of the king of YouTube, but you can take those principles and put them into TikTok. And just try to be consistent with the content you create. Make it about your niche. So, for example, with, as I said, Adobe, all their videos are about design. Monday, all their videos are about the professional world and work and being at work. So just keep to those. Don't just make content about anything and everything, because then the algorithm won't know what to do with it. Your audience won't know what is going on. Just be really consistent there.
I have a few follow-up questions here. One is, do brands need to work with content creators, or should they? Because you were mentioning obviously that we need a face of the brand, someone to get in front of the camera, shoot videos. Can these be different people? Should it be one person? What is the general take on this?
Yeah, there are content creators for B2B and SaaS companies. There's one guy called Legal Tech Bro. He does legal-based videos, and there's plenty of people out there. If you have a niche, you will quickly find who your influencers are just by watching a few videos and doing a few searches. But your employees are often the best advocates for your company and your brand, because they choose to work for you. And they already have a lot of knowledge about the brand. They already have a lot of knowledge about the people that you're targeting, your customers, existing or prospective. So often the best place to start is with your customers. There is, I think it's Belgian or Dutch DIY brand called Metabo, and they just used one of their employees for the videos because he had a big bushy beard, and they were like, oh, that might look cool on camera. And
memorable at least, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And now he's known as the Metabo guy. He walks down the street and all these builders are like shouting at him and stuff. So, and
that's the best brand recognition to people remember the brand and the guy. So that's
exactly. So you don't have to pay someone tons of money to advertise your products on TikTok if you have highly engaged, happy employees that are willing to stand in front of a camera and talk to the world or whoever's watching about your product or your software.
And the other question I had was for trends. Obviously, trends are a big thing on TikTok, trending music, trending sequences, or I don't even know how they're called. But should brands also jump on this train and try to implement them in whatever they're doing, as long as it sticks to their niche? Or what's your take?
Yeah, so I think yes, because TikTok is a content-hungry platform. You have to be able to produce content consistently around your niche consistently. So trends and all these kind of things, they help with that. It's something that will allow you to kind of adapt to your niche. So, for example, there's a trend at the moment for, does your man think about the Roman Empire every day? You can change the Roman Empire to, for example, Grammarly could be how to spell a certain word every day, or grammatical rules every day. So there are ways that you can adapt trends to your niche and trends to fit with what you're talking about. Trends do allow you to create content that's relevant quickly, that will get high engagement. So yeah, why not? It's a fun thing to do.
We have one question from the audience, actually.
Oh, cool.
Someone called Rokas. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. And the question is, hi, I'm in a SaaS business for retailers, which is kind of boring and enterprisey. It's hard to imagine them using TikTok, but maybe I'm wrong. What content would you create for industries like that are not very hip and cool? Do you have a question on the spot? Not question, answer on the spot, or should we think through it?
So we can give him, Rokas, I will give you an instant answer. I think that TikTok is a wonderful place to find people that are very interested in your niche, that are very interested in what you produce as a business. So I think that don't short sell yourself by saying you're in an industry that's not very hip or cool. It's not about being hip or cool in the fashion sense. If you are enthusiastic and passionate about whatever you create or sell, then that is going to get picked up and that's going to be found by people. What you can do is use hashtags that are relevant to your niche. So for example, for smart home technology, I will use something like home automation, home assistant, smart home would be 3 hashtags that I would use. Tech Talk would be another hashtag that I use. And just try and find videos that are in your niche that are doing well, have high engagement rates, comments, shares, favorites, views as well, of course, and trying to see what they're doing and try and copy that. If you're just starting out, seeing what is successful and copying that, but putting your own spin on it, applying it to your own niche is always a good way to kind of get started. I hope that
Something I would
answers the
add
question.
here, yeah, Rokas, please share if it answers your question or you have follow-up questions. In the meantime, I wanted to mention also something. I think it's a common misconception that, especially for B2B brands, that they have to be boring, enterprisey. But at the end of the day, everything we do in marketing is what I like to call H2, H straight, human to human.
Yeah,
So even if there is like a big corporation behind, or your business isn't as hip as, I don't know, a fashion brand or some trendy new architecture studio or something like that. I mean, at the end of the day, the people that would be interested in your product are researching for that online, and other companies in the same industry might also think, oh, this is boring content, so they are not producing it. And actually, there's a need for it. So as Guy said, it's usually a matter of finding the right audience in the different channels. TikTok may be a good place for it, and even if they're not no other brands in the same industry there, it's still worth a try.
yeah,
Even on a small scale, as mentioned, TikTok doesn't really take much effort in terms of production. Doesn't cost too much. You just need a phone and someone willing to share their passion. So I think
exactly.
that makes it easy to try TikTok. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But please give it a try and see
I
how it
think,
goes for you.
yeah, I think the thing is to find someone that is knowledgeable and passionate and confident and was happy to stand in front of the camera, just talk about the product, make your first video. Who are you? Why should people be interested in your product? What are the benefits of your product? And that could be your first video. And the key is really just to go for it. Really, don't be shy. There are billions of people using TikTok around the world, so the chances of your first video going crazy viral are quite low. And I don't mean to sound that in like a negative way, but use it as a positive. Use your first videos to get over the nerves, to get over the fear of creating content, to really find your voice and try and find your style and hone, practice, and get better at creating content on TikTok. When I first started making TikTok in January, I was really nervous about it. I didn't want to show my face. I just wanted to kind of just put something out there, and I wasn't really sure, but I knew I wanted to create something. And I soon got over those fears. Making content helped me create ideas for new content, and that kind of gave me momentum. And then I started trying different things. And yeah, now I think I have quite a settled style that is easy for me to write scripts to. It's fun for me and I enjoy doing it. So I think Rockcast, the best thing is just to get started, get over that fear and just jump into it. And if you like it, great. If you don't, that's fine. At least you've tried.
Yeah, and you never know who's looking for the information that you're creating. So
Exactly.
yes,
Yeah,
gotcha. Thanks. I'll need to explore it more. Awesome, Rokas. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either me or Guy on LinkedIn. I will share the live recording and then tag ourselves. So we'll be
absolutely.
happy to help you and explore it further. We only have a few minutes left, so I actually
Sure.
wanted to finish with a question slash something that you can share with us. What are the most common pitfalls slash mistakes companies do and you've done? Probably have some funny stories to tell with your experience so far.
Yeah, the things that I see on TikTok that I would class as something to improve upon would be engagement. So when someone leaves a comment, reply as soon as you can. And even if it's like a negative comment, try to reply with something positive or try to resolve the issue, the situation. Just try to engage and build an audience, and also just try to, as I was saying before, make sure that it's well lit, that you have a good story to tell, that you are happy and positive and confident that you're sharing something. People go to TikTok to entertain or to get educated. People are using TikTok now as a search engine to look for restaurants because they'll get an idea of what the food is like. It's the same for if you're a B2B and SaaS, they will go to TikTok to start searching for what does your product do? How do people use it? What do people think? So make sure that you are fulfilling those needs. Don't ignore your audience. Be aware of them, embrace them, talk to them, and just, show them the face behind the name. And then you will see success on TikTok, I think.
And what is one mistake you have done? You wish you hadn't, or you learned your
Uh,
lessons ever since?
Not scripting. I think when I started scripting out stuff and really making sure that the editing was crisp, I think that's when, if I look back at my first videos now, the lighting is quite bad. I'm not showing my face. It's just my voice. My voice can sound a bit boring at times. So I
You're
have
lucky
to.
with your British accent.
There
Imagine
we
if
go.
it's someone else.
So yeah, okay. So I have a clear accent, but yeah, talking with good intonation, so it's clear to people watching what you're saying, having nice lighting, and just not having background sounds too loud. You can play around with the sounds in the TikTok editing feature just so that when you talk, it's clear instead of having background music being too loud. So those are the mistakes that I've made. Nothing too crazy. I've not thankfully yet uploaded anything that I find embarrassing. But yeah, just make sure the lighting is right, that you're talking clearly, that you have something to say, and that, you are actually holding the camera in the right position.
Yeah. I mean, it takes practice as everything else, and you just need to grind through the first few rounds, and then it will get better. So.
Well, I have a bit of a background in video making anyway. I used to work for a viral video company. So I kind of knew when I started out kind of best practices or things to avoid. So, yeah.
So that helps you to not have like
I had a bit
videos
of a step
you wish
ahead.
you weren't there.
Yes,
awesome.
exactly.
We're right on time. Guy, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your knowledge on TikTok. As mentioned, if you have any other questions and you want to chat about TikTok, please feel free to reach out to both of us and to follow Guy on TikTok. We'll share his account as well if you want to see how he's doing so far. So yeah, thank you, Guy, for joining us, and have a great day, everyone, wherever you are and whatever time it is for you.